Greetings everyone, Robert Wainscott here, and before I get into my video, I just want to say that I'm going to try something new today. I'm actually going to use a script. A friend pointed out in my last video that I just kind of rambled on forever and I just kept repeating myself. And that makes sense because I never use a script or plan anything, I just sit down and talk. And that's a holdover from when I was a high school teacher. I did not want to use notes or write out a lesson every day. I mean, who wants to do that, right? And I figured I knew my subject well enough, I should just be able to walk in and give a 50-minute lecture or whatever, whenever I feel like it. But not today. I'm going to use my notes, and because I don't have a teleprompter, my notes are right here. So I'm probably going to be looking down a lot, like I'm asking you to the Sadie Hawkins dance or something. I'm just going to be, it'll look like I'm looking at my shoes, but I'm not. So let's do this. So Gibson dropped the Music City, a limited run guitar celebrating 50 years in Nashville. But here's the question nobody seems to be asking. 50 years of what exactly? 50 years of craftsmanship? 50 years of tone? 50 years of making questionable design decisions? Absolutely. Because the Music City isn't just any ordinary model. It's the 50-year commemoration of the Marauder. Gibson's 1970s experiment in trying to be Fender, and depending on how you look at it, that makes this either the most honest tribute Gibson's ever done, or the most ironic. Back in the mid-70s, Gibson was in crisis mode. Fender was winning the rock war. Lighter guitars, brighter tones, cheaper builds, and Gibson's Les Pauls were starting to look like your dad's Buick. So in 1974, Gibson unleashed the Marauder, a bolt-on, maple-bodied, half Fender, half Les Paul hybrid. It had Bill Lawrence pickups, a blend knob that was supposed to be innovative, and a headstock big enough to paddle a canoe. The Marauder was Gibson's answer to the Strat. Problem was, no one asked the question. Les Paul fans hated it. Fender players ignored it. It was the worst of both worlds, a tone that was neither fish nor fowl. Gibson pushed this guitar hard with the coolest kids on the block, Kiss. You can see the Marauder on my Kiss t-shirt right here. Paul Stanley's proudly holding it. And by the way, during the mid-70s, for a number of years, when Kiss smashed guitars on stage, they were smashing B-stock Marauders. So that's what you see there. Let's see. Also, in the movie Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, Paul Stanley uses a Marauder to deflect evil twin Paul Stanley's eye lasers, thus saving Kiss. Thank you, Gibson. Thank you, Marauder. Oh yeah, Dave's Killer Bread products certainly show Marauder. Nothing is too cool for Dave. By 1979, Gibson quietly pulled the plug after about 7,000 units. So of course, when it came time to celebrate 50 years in Nashville, Gibson thought, hey, let's bring back this one. You can't make it up. Part 2, The Age of Clones. Now fast forward to the 21st century. We live in the age of perfection. CNC machines, fret leveling, laser cut templates. Everything's a clone of everything else. All you have to do is look at Epiphone to see this. 10 Epiphone Les Paul Customs in Alpine White will be indistinguishable from one another. That's true. Go to Guitar Center and look at some Epiphones. They are flawless and identical in every way. But here's the problem. Perfection is boring. The Japanese figured this out centuries ago with wabi-sabi. The idea that imperfection is what makes something unique, human, alive. And that brings us back to the Music City, a guitar so inconsistent, so unpredictable that it almost feels deliberate. And I'm starting to think it is. Part 3, the case for intentional flaws. Let's have a look at the evidence. Number 1, the grain and finish. Same run, same color, yet the finishes don't match. One's deep oxblood, the other leans bright cherry. With modern automation, that shouldn't happen unless Gibson wanted it to. Pickup variants. Different DC resistance on identical pickups. Not just a tolerance issue, that's a tonal fingerprint. It's like Gibson said, no two music cities shall sound alike. Number 3, overspray on the neck joint. Here's some overspray bleeding into the neck. Not a QC miss, a statement. Someone with a paint gun went rogue, and Gibson was fine with it. Number 4, thumbprint in the finish. That's not a blemish you're looking at, that's a fingerprint. A human hand literally sealed into the lacquer. It's the Mona Lisa of smudges. Number 5, missing finish near the nut. A patch of raw wood under glossy black. No buffing, no touch-up. It's as if Gibson's saying, this isn't mass-produced, this one escaped. Tooling marks on the first fret. Uneven bevels. Visible file chatter. This isn't a machine error, it's evidence of individuality. You can almost hear the rasp hitting the fretboard. Taken together, this isn't chaos, it's choreography. Gibson built imperfection into the blueprint. These aren't mistakes, they're fingerprints. Part 4, do flaws add value? Here's the question that'll split the room. Do these flaws make it better? Some will say no, that a $2,000 guitar should be flawless. Others, the ones who understand that beauty lives in variance, will see it differently. Because in a world where machines can make a million identical guitars, the imperfect ones become the rarest thing of all, authentic. So yeah, the Gibson Music City is flawed, gloriously so. And maybe that's Gibson's way of saying, we remember the Marauder, we learned from it, but we're still human, and we're leaving the evidence right on the wood. If the flaws are intentional. If these flaws are intentional, then Gibson pulled off something genius. They've turned imperfection into an art form. They've taken the ghost of the Marauder, that awkward, unwanted experiment, and finally given it a soul. Every overspray, every fingerprint, every uneven fret is a reminder that humans still build these things. That a robot can make a guitar, but it can't make one like this. If this was Gibson's plan all along, then the Music City isn't a mistake. It's a manifesto. A statement that says perfection is for computers. We make instruments for people. If the flaws aren't intentional. But what if I'm wrong? What if these aren't intentional? What if this isn't philosophy or wabi-sabi or Gibson channeling the spirit of imperfection? What if it's just bad QC? What if this is a company charging premium prices for mistakes they just don't care to fix? Because that thumbprint could be a signature, or it could be someone in the spray booth who did a rush job. And if that's the case, if these flaws aren't character but sloppiness, then the Music City stops being art and starts being evidence. Evidence that craftsmanship might be dying in plain sight. That we're so desperate for meaning, we'll invent it just to justify mediocrity. I'd like to believe Gibson did this on purpose, because if they didn't, that means the Marauder never really left Nashville. It just came back wearing better clothes.